Hello guys, and today we're here with the Apocrypha Rerun banner. As you can see here, we have the Untouched Beauty Beta and Indomitable Will Clear from last year, and this year with new Apocrypha units, they are rerunning. So, should you summon a skip, that's what I'll help you with today. So we'll start off with our ultimate. Raises down to 50 for all eyes, then gains crit rate, and inflicts 1 over the damage on all enemies. Prayer inflicts weakness for 8 seconds, which is honestly pretty good. You get like a ton of buffs here. Crit rate is probably the most important one since you are getting damage inflicted from alpha, but the more it can't hurt really. So yeah, it's overall pretty good. And when awakened, the crit rate goes from 20 to 50, which is pretty good. And you even get more weakness time. It's honestly worth it really. Then our skill 1, simple outfit. Well, pretty simple, just like the passive. Just raises the attack of all element and then raises crit attack. Which the crit attack helps as she gives a lot of crit rate from her gear and then from her ultimate right here. So then we're gonna put crit rate and then crit attack together. You can combine to do a ton of damage and easily hit the damage limit. And with weakness, you can do you can practically just get an extra hit, which will almost come in like a 2 hit or so you're doing. So like yeah, imagine like 2 hits shattering 499 damage limit. With enough buffs it's possible I believe. Though only if you have enough buffs. Which most of the time you won't, but yeah. And then we have our skill 2 break shot, inflicts its AoE damage and stun. Which can be pretty OP for PvP. Anyway, can you get more damage and extra 2 seconds stun. Yeah, for passive, which is pretty much restricted. It's only good with 5 element allies, but when you do have those, you get a nice attack buff, speed buff, and then bleed rest and stun rest. Overall, the bleed and stun rest is kind of like PvP based, and like the rest of the buffs you get from like the new alpha and others. And of course, as I said, for their gear, raises the crit rate of all element allies multiplied by your elemental. So if you have 5 element units in the party, you get a 50% crit rate. And then we combine that with this if you have it awakened. That's a 100% crit rate right there, along with this crit attack, which can pretty much mean that you're not only getting guaranteed crits, but those crits will actually be able to do very good damage as well. Awakening, A1 sucks honestly, but oh, that's what it is. That's this decent skill. And A3 is pretty good, I'd say. Watch your head. And then I say this is also pretty solid, just like Alpha. But that's a little worse since Alpha also has a speed and granting herself buffs as well. And A5 is her passive, in which you get some more buffs and some other speed and stuff. So overall, Beta is better than the Square over here. She's a better unit, so if we're summoning, you definitely want to get her. In which there's this ticket in which you'll get either one of them doing 5 multis. So yeah, it's a 50-50 chance right here. This is better or this is clear to come from the ticket that's right here. So yeah, if you do plan to summon, good luck with that. But yeah, overall, if it's this better, well then yeah, I say she's worth, but overall, like how we have the current Apocrypha going on, have a new Elixir coming out and some new demons. So if you wanna wait for that, you can also do that as well. But it's better it's pretty good for elemental, even though her damage is not really up there anymore. Support is still good, though as newer units like the new Alpha and new Elixir come out, you can see her starting to fall off. But otherwise, pretty solid. And then we have this clear, which pretty much sucks for the most part. But I guess it can still be usable if you have like no other options. And I mean when I say like no other options, if you have any other options, well then I can bet they'll be better than this Claire. Yeah, you have her ultimate cancel shield effects on all enemies, and fair inflicts 2000 damage. However, you're not really gonna see this in PvP, and she's not very that strong in PvE either. Overall, there's way better units than her. Victorious first, and then she cancels all shield effects, raises her own attack, and deals 4 damage, and lower speed as well. This skill is pretty good. You could say they packed everything into that. And the Guardian Angel raises attack and first shields damage. And every 10 seconds, raises the attack of all your allies, and then her gear raises the damage inflicted of all your allies every 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds, you're getting a 10% damage inflicted and 10% attack buff from here, which you get more of from it, which you get more buffs from the beta and the new alpha that's out. So really, if it's anything, I'd suggest summon for this alpha more. But if you want, you can also summon for this rerun banner. So pretty much on their awakenings, this sucks. This is decent, I guess. And this is decent. It's not really that good of awakening. I guess you could say this is pretty good. And this also is cool. So like if you have an A5, then you'll end up be getting like a 20% attack and 10% damage inflicted every 10 seconds. So overall, she's not very strong as you can see. Like your best skill is pretty much your skill 1. The ultimate kinda sucks now. And this is cool. So far there's better units that gives more buffs and better buffs than this Claire. I will say though that she's a cool avatar if you have her, like if you pull her from the birthday banner. Otherwise, not really worth it to be honest. So yeah, if anything, it's the beta which is the better unit on this banner. But I don't know. You can probably even summon for this alpha for this beta. Or just save and wait for the new Alexia and for the new demons as well. So yeah. And don't forget if you're summoning to use this ticket as well. You get it after doing like 5 multis on the banner right here. So yeah. That's about it for this video. I'm gonna see y'all later.